2. What's going on? It's Juan Gotti here with another Washington Commanders video. And in today's video, I'm coming on here with some breaking news. So, as we already know, Ron Rivera has announced who the quarterback is going to be for the remaining 2 games of the season. So, without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. But before we do, make sure you guys go down below, leave a like on this video, subscribe if you're new, and turn on post notifications so you get notified when I upload a video about the NFL, or in this case, our Washington Commanders. Thank you so much. Let's get straight into today's video. So as we already know, Ron Rivera already came out and said that he was going to name the starter. I mean, when he first announced it on Sunday, when he first made the change on Sunday, rather, in the post game after the 49ers lost, he said, I'm going to name a starter earlier in the week so it can give the starter time to get reps in practice and stuff like that. And quite frankly, I was surprised that it took him until Wednesday to name Carson Wentz being the starter. So, yes, we are going back to Carson Wentz. Taylor Heinicke is now going to be on the bench. And it kind of got mixed emotions from the fans. And I'm kind of with majority of the fans. It's mixed emotions for me, right? On one hand, I'm like, dang, I would like to see Taylor back out there just because I know he can be better, and I know he's probably a better fit for this team as it is now. But on the other hand of me, I do want to see Carson Wentz again, and I do know Carson Wentz is the much more athletically, or skilled, I should say skilled quarterback. So I definitely want to see what he looks like again. But I'm mixed emotions about it. But Ron Rivera, he came out today and he announced Carson Wentz has been a starter. No one should be surprised. After we seen how Taylor Heinicke has played the last couple of weeks, we know that was on the rise. And Washington is now 0-2-1 in their last 3. And a big part of the reason why they haven't been successful is post-bye is because of Taylor Heinicke. And yeah, so with the Washington Commanders, we need a spark, okay? And as bad as we've been, we still can try to control our own destiny, right? All we have to do is win, okay? All we have to do is win, and Taylor Heinicke hasn't been getting it done, so we're looking for any kind of spark. So hopefully Carson Wentz can do that. Now, Ron Rivera naming Carson Wentz a starter, is that the right move? Again, I'm in the middle. I really don't know because, like I said, on one hand, I want to see how good he can be, and on the other hand, I'm like, hey, as bad as his offensive line is, I'm already knowing that it's not going to be good. Like, Taylor Heinicke, a big reason why I liked him and the big reason why I thought he was the better fit is because he was able to make the offensive line look better by extending plays with his legs, scrambling out of sacks. That if Carson Wentz was in there, he would have got sacked. Like on that third down conversion early in the game versus the 49ers, Carson Wentz doesn't make that play. Okay, there's countless games, the Colts game, the Packers game, the Vikings game. Those games, if Carson Wentz was starting, we would lose, right? Or probably not even be in a position to win because we know he can extend plays how Taylor can. So that's my biggest reason why I don't want Carson Wentz in the line because I already know the guy's going to get crushed. The offensive line is not good enough to hold up or protect a Carson Wentz. Now, if Carson Wentz was sitting behind a Pro Bowl offensive line, then I would definitely want to see Carson back up there. I definitely think he would be much better. But the fact that he's not, and we faced guys like Myles Garrett, Micah Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence, like, though the final 2 games of the season, and these are the most important games of the year, it kind of scares me. But what are some of the pros of Carson Wentz being back in the lineup? Pro number 1, he's gonna have much more better passing. I mean, he's gonna be much more accurate. He's gonna have much more arm strength, and that's gonna allow him to put passes where Taylor Heinicke couldn't, and certain passes that Taylor Heinicke couldn't make Carson Wentz can. Case in point. The game versus the Giants on Sunday Night Football, Curtis Samuel is wide open, and Taylor Heinicke finds him, but he doesn't put it out in front. Carson Wentz, he hit Terry McLaurin week 1 versus the Jaguars on the same route for a touchdown. If that's Carson Wentz, that's a touchdown, right? 49ers game. There are countless passes where Taylor Heinicke probably would make them, or Carson Wentz would make them that Taylor Heinicke didn't. And then you go back to the other Giants game in the Meadowlands, Logan Thomas wide open on the first possession of the game. Taylor Heinicke misses him. I believe Carson Wentz makes that drop. So I think the passing accuracy would just be much more better with Carson Wentz. And I think he would give our receivers much more chances, right? He wouldn't miss as many open targets as Taylor Heinicke missed. Another key, it would probably be that he's used to this time of year. Like last year, although it didn't go well for the Colts down the stretch, he was in the same predicament last year. So him being in the same predicament again for the second straight year, that can help him propel for a different outcome that he had the first time. Like last year with the Colts, it didn't go well. Hopefully now this time he can use what he learned from the Colts, part of it, and use it here in Washington to now better himself and have a different outcome, right? That could be that. So I definitely think there are a few positives. But the negatives, again, just one is really one big one, and it all kind of correlates into one. It really like is the offensive line for me. It's not even much that it's Carson Wentz. Like Carson Wentz going back out there. I'm not nervous about him like throwing the ball, making bad reads. I'm not at all. I'm more nervous that he is going to get crushed. He has no mobility, right? He's been too injury prone and he lost majority of that mobility. So my biggest issue is not even with Carson Wentz, it's with the offensive line. Again, Taylor Heinicke was getting killed and he has the ability to escape play. So what do you think it's going to look like when Carson Wentz is not back out there? I mean, yeah, everyone wants to praise Carson Wentz for what he did, coming in for in relief for Taylor Heinicke in the 49ers game, but even still, they started lighting them up, bro. They started sending heavy pressure and blitzing all the time, and he was getting hit. Although he was delivering passes, he still was getting hit. So with Myles Garrett, with Michael Parsons, with DeMarcus Lawrence, with all those guys on the horizon, and these final two games, that's the one thing that scares me most. Other than that, I really can't see no con, because I mean you could say he's going to be aggressive and throw it into places that can be harmful, but Taylor Heinicke does the same thing. So there's not really no con that I could see from Carson Wentz going back into the lineup, except for, and it's a big one, the offensive line failing him. If he gets time in the pocket, as we've seen countless times prior to his injury, he can deliver beautiful balls. He can deliver beautiful passes, and he can get this offense flowing, right? I guess another con would also not be on Carson Wentz. It will also be Scott Turner, right? What is Scott Turner going to look like? Is he going to actually cater to Carson Wentz's strengths? Is he going to get him outside the pocket on rollout passes? Is he going to be better? Carson Wentz, he didn't have a healthy Brian Robinson. Now he has a semi-healthy Brian Robinson, right? He's getting Jahan Dotson back, who he lost down the stretch. Not down the stretch, but down the last few games before he got hurt himself. He got injured in that Cowboys game. Remember, Jahan Dotson got injured in the Cowboys game, missed like 5-6 weeks. Carson Wentz didn't get to see him. He's getting a healthy Jahan. He's obviously getting, some reinforcements on the defense side of the ball and Chase Young. So it's things that are going to be different now. His second time, Ron Rivera basically said it looked like he was much more comfortable and healthier this time around than what he was earlier in the season. So I'm definitely excited to see what Carson Wentz brings to the team. I think he gives us a good shot to win. But the overall statement still remains to this day that we don't have a franchise quarterback. Nobody on this roster, at least we don't know with Sam Howell, but we can just come to that assumption as of today because we don't know what he is yet. The franchise quarterback isn't on a roster, okay? So we got to roll with what we got. And I got faith in Wentz. I hope that he can lead us to victory these last 2 weeks. And we can go into the playoffs, man. Because literally, even though we lost the last two, we still sit that 7th seed, and all we have to do is win. Literally, if we win, Seattle and Detroit can't catch us, or now Green Bay. They're in the picture now. Literally, all we got to do is win. And I think Carson Wentz gives us a good shot to do that, but he has to stay upright. Carson has to make the right throws. Carson has to get rid of the ball fast. Scott Turner has to call plays to cater around his strengths. Get him outside the pocket. Get him away from the pass rush. Okay? Call quick passes, quick screens and slants and stuff like that. Don't abuse the screens like you like to do, but you know what I mean. Quick slants, drags, and stuff like that. Get the ball inside your playmaker's hand. Terry, Jahan, Curtis. All those. We may be without Antonio Gibson, more likely than not, because he's done with the ankle and a knee sprain. So I don't think we're going to see Antonio Gibson this week. So that means more opportunity for J. Will. So we need to take advantage of that. So let me know what you guys think about this video in the comment section down below. Carson Wentz is now the starting quarterback yet again for the final 2 weeks of the season and hopefully more. That means we made the postseason. Let me know your honest thoughts. Are you happy with this decision? Are you mad that Taylor got benched? Where are you at on the Taylor Heinicke and Carson Wentz situation? So again, Taylor Heinicke is now back to the bench. Carson Wentz is now up and starting. Leave your comments and thoughts down below. As always, it's been Boy One Gotti. Like, comment, subscribe. Hello to Washington Commanders. I'm out. Peace.
Jimmy!
Cross me one time, that's gonna get you pop. Get you pop, get you drop. Slide on the one where they get you lost.